Cancel culture spares no one. Not even beloved children's media. Walt Disney's been dead for half a century, and people are still dredging up all that racist stuff in the back of the Disney vault. Roald Dahl wrote Matilda and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but one little lifetime of anti-Semitism and he's suddenly on everyone's shit list.
Oh, hello. I've been expecting you.
But what about Sesame Street?
I better go back. We'll never be able to do that.
Surely this bastion of social and emotional enrichment never crossed the line, right? Well, think again, bucko. Today we're talking about 3 times Sesame Street got canceled. This is CanonBall. The state of Mississippi banned an entire month's worth of programming. The year was 1969. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was still fresh on everyone's minds, and Lyndon Johnson's Great Society agenda was starting to take root. At this crucial cultural juncture, the state of Mississippi decided their #1 priority was to kill Big Bird.
With candy canes and silver.
The newly minted Mississippi Authority for Educational Television was a 5-person panel that would determine which educational programs the state would air. And their first order of business was to keep this new, wildly popular puppet show off the airwaves. Now, what could they have possibly objected to? Well, for starters, the panel was appointed by the state's pro-segregation governor, so it's not surprising that 3 of the 5 voted against the show for vague, budgetary reasons. But the other 2 members were pissed, and they leaked the real reason. The 3 claimed that people were, quote, not yet ready for a highly integrated cast of children, meaning they were attempting to revive the dead corpse of segregation, like a racist Frankenstein's monster. Aside from these 3 nut jobs, public opinion was overwhelmingly in favor of the show. The cast traveled to Jackson, Mississippi to help drum up some publicity. In response, the local police showed up in riot gear to a live performance of Sesame Street. This absolute insanity caused a nationwide outpouring of support for the show, and the panel reversed course at their very next meeting the following month. But 7 years later, Sesame Street would find itself on the wrong end of public outrage. 1976, The Wicked Witch, 9/11 Sesame Street. The Sesame Workshop employs a gaggle of mental health and childcare professionals to ensure that Sesame Street remains a safe, trauma-free community. So it's hard to understand how this one slipped through the cracks. In one 1976 episode, they let the Wicked Witch of the West wreak absolute havoc all over the neighborhood. That's like if Jigsaw popped up in Blue's Clues, or Osama bin Laden fought the Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol is on a roll, mother.
The episode starts out with the Wicked Witch falling off of her broom and tumbling from the sky next to Hooper's store.
Look at that, something's falling right out of the sky.
David palms her broomstick out of the air and bafflingly refuses to give it back to her until she asks super duper nicely.
Well, she won't get this broom back until she shows me a little respect and dignity.
Such an over-the-top character is actually a pretty good fit for the show, in theory.
Oh, curses, curses.
But in practice, she spends the hour causing chaos and bending the rules of reality. She teleports around the neighborhood at will. She makes it rain inside of Hooper's store. She even threatens to turn David into a basketball
Bounce to the basket.
and Big Bird into a feather duster. So what did kids actually learn? Nothing is real.
Everything is permitted.
Trust no one. Danger lurks around every corner. The Wicked Witch finally gets her broom back.
I got it, my broom.
And everyone's like, thank fucking God.
So glad she's leaving.
Everyone except Big Bird, who lives for the drama.
I'm glad she came here, because it was very interesting and really exciting.
Then, on her way back to Oz, she tries to do a wheelie and loses her broom all over again.
Look, no hands. Oh,
The whole point of this saga was to teach kids to overcome their fears.
By which,
Except they created a whole Groundhog Day scenario.
it's the broom.
And the episode ends on David sobbing at the prospect of reliving his trauma.
I can't go through it again.
Sesame Street has been brought to you today by the letters I and Z.
So yeah, you can see how this one wasn't exactly a slam dunk. But this emotional roller coaster isn't over yet. We can't forget about 1992, Snuffleupagus' unaired emotional trauma. Snuffleupagus has had it pretty rough over the course of the show. For the first 14 years, his whole thing was that no one but Big Bird could even see him.
Oh, Willie.
really the hot dog man. That makes 9 people who have not seen me.
The dude was functionally invisible, which could have made for a pretty epic crime spree, but instead just turned him into a lumbering inferiority complex. So when national divorce rates ticked past 40% and producers decided they needed to address it, they thought, you know who has the mental and emotional fortitude to handle a divorce? This fucking sad sack.
Oh dear.
The episode Snuffy's Parents Get a Divorce never aired, but the audio and some of the footage have resurfaced. Snuffy's father dumps him and his sister at their mother's house, and struggles to explain that he's not legally allowed to hang out with them anymore.
I don't live here anymore, remember?
He ducks out like your friend who got a little too high.
I gotta go now. Bye, kids.
Sad and confused, they immediately pick a fight with their mom.
Sorry, not tonight.
Well, why not?
The closest she gets to patching things up is bribing them with food.
Let's go inside. I'll make you cabbage and spaghetti casserole.
It's a poignant, gut-wrenching scene. And I just gotta say, it's a little weird that his mom calls him Snuffy, right?
Oh, Snuffy.
I mean, Snuffleupagus is his last name. He's Aloysius Snuffleupagus. His sister is Alice Snuffleupagus. His mom is Mommy Snuffleupagus, which is even weirder. Her name is Mommy. His dad's name is Daddy. His grandmother's name is Granny. That all implies that Snuffleupagus is some kind of prophetic second coming of Jesus type figure for them. For generations, they named their children based on their relationship to this one future Snuffleupagus. And this guy has the gall to have an inferiority complex? Howdy folks, Jesse here. Thanks for watching this episode of CanonBall. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you think Snuffy's mom is a MILF. Snilf.